response?
No, I don't, because we did the right thing. We were there to protect Trump supporters from Antifa. We were there to protect and secure 2 permitted events on Capitol grounds where members of Congress were going to speak. The guys that went inside, they're not committing the crimes. In fact, they help people. They help the police and help the people out.
He says he has no regrets. What do you say, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I would say to Stuart Rhodes. Go f*** yourself.
CNN's Pamela Brown damn near jumped out of her seat over the most natural response from a victim of the January 6th insurrection attempt, who's just been victimized again by the mob leader and president.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I would say to Stuart Rhodes. Go f*** yourself.
Okay.
You're a liar.
We didn't obviously get to beep that word out, but obviously this is personal to you, Michael. This is very personal to you.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's an appropriate response to someone that was convicted of doing all this only to have Donald Trump free him so that he can go back to his terror activities.
Stuart Rhodes, the founder and leader of a far-right group called the Oath Keepers, was sentenced to 18 years in prison after being convicted of seditious conspiracy, using violence to prevent the government from carrying out its lawful duties. Judge Amit Mehta said he conspired with others to help make it happen and to take up arms and foment revolution. Rhodes wore an orange prison jumpsuit during the dramatic court hearing. He showed no remorse, defiantly telling the judge that he considered himself a political prisoner. Prosecutors say Rhodes spent weeks after the election plotting to use violence to keep President Trump in power. The judge applied a so-called terrorism enhancement to Rhodes' sentence.
When you work for the fascist leader who lost an election, you get released from prison so that you can carry out more violent actions against the country without fear of consequences. That's how you build a loyal army willing to kill and die for you. They all have the same fascist plans that the president does.
In the words of Pam Bondi, the investigators need to be investigated and the prosecutors need to be prosecuted. Okay, we can't let this go on. We can't do business as usual. And I think the president is going to do a fantastic job of enacting justice, true justice for what's been going on. And success is going to be retribution, okay? And it's up to us. And when I say us, I include your listeners on there. We got to do everything in our power to make sure that the next 4 years sets us up for the next 100 years.
Enrique Tarrio of the Proud Boys also received a full pardon from Trump. And it's pretty obvious that his release from prison did nothing else but inspire him to work harder to help create a fascist government that no longer criminalizes seditious acts, as long as it's in favor of Trump's goals. It's a very cheap price for an army of loyalists.
What we're doing is we have men already stationed outside D.C. as a nuclear option in case they attempt to remove the president illegally. We will step in and stop it. And we're going to be there to also help secure the coming rally this Saturday and your caravan coming in. So I've got good men on the ground already. We've did a leaders recon there last week, and we're sorting out where we're going to be staging, and we'll be there. We'll be inside D.C. We'll also be on the outside of D.C. armed, prepared to go in.
That was Trump's newest street general, Stuart Rhodes, before their attack on the Capitol, when they still hoped that he would win, but with a plan just in case he lost. And then once he did lose, their recon missions, where he had armed men stationed in and out of D.C., sprung into action. It's almost like he was guilty of seditious conspiracy or something.
Tasha, you have known Stuart Rhodes for a long time. You know deeply this organization, the Oath Keepers. With all of that knowledge, knowing that for the next 18 years, you and your 6 children can live your lives with Stuart Rhodes behind bars, how do you feel about that?
I'm very happy about it. It's been a great week for us, really, as a family. We're happy to feel safe. We're happy he's in a place where he can't hurt us. He can't hurt anybody else. Of course, there's that dark cloud sort of looming of pardon, depending on who gets in office next.
His ex-wife and children barely escaped his violence and sabotage of their lives when he was sent off to prison. But her concerns about a possible pardon obviously became a reality due to a guy that ironically went so far as to tell women that he'd be their protector from an invasion of foreign criminals released from jails for the sake of wreaking havoc in our country. You clearly can't make this shit up.
I say to the women, and I think I do very well with the women, actually. I think it's a lot of fake polling. I think I do very well because I say, I will keep you safe. I'm not going to allow prisoners to come out from Venezuela and many other countries all over the world, the Congo, the Middle East. They come out from the Congo in tremendous numbers. They're coming out of the Middle East, Yemen, and lots of countries that aren't particularly friendly to us. I'm going to keep you safe. I'm not going to let people hurt you. I'm going to have a very strong
They were bugged by that, the protector line. Like some of the people went crazy about that. He said he's going to be my protector. That's looking down on us. So that's patronizing.
I'm looking up at them. When they let 13,099 criminals, murderers, these are people in prison. These are among the worst criminals anywhere in the world, and they come from all over. A huge number is coming out of jails in the Congo because what's happening is countries and continents, but countries are releasing their prison populations into our country because they've moved all of their prisoners, and these are hardened people. They know better than anybody who they are.
Everything he says is an admission of his own plan. His violent white nationalist prisoners are the ones being released into our country in large numbers to carry out his plans of forcing the country to fold to his fascism. Who cares about Rhodes' wife and kids, who told their story of abuse, extreme neglect, and illiteracy because of a life filled with extreme right-wing militancy? Trump needs his terrorists on the ground.
If you could talk to former President Trump, Ron DeSantis, what would you want them to understand about who the Oath Keepers are, who Stewart Rhodes really is?
I'm not sure anything I would say would make any difference because I think they fully understand what he is and what he tried to do, and they fully support it. He is a person who plotted war for over a decade. All he ever thought about was creating chaos, creating violence in the home, violence, in the country, anything that could put himself on top, and any way he could make that happen. And I think, Trump fully understands, DeSantis fully understands. They know what Stewart's about, and they agree with him.